Yo guys, what's happening? I'm AidanMCJ. Welcome back to the channel. I'm AidanMCJ. In the last video, you saw this Subaru Impreza Wrx behind me. Now we're going to be doing a full, well, I say full service. We're going to be changing the spark plugs, the oil, and the oil filter as well. So we'll show you exactly what's going in and out, and how to basically change it all and stuff. He would be changing the air filter as well, but he's recently changed it to a normal panel filter. And then I think we'll be going, when you're going more performance upgrades, you'll be putting a new cone filter on as well, won't you?
Yeah, full cone.
So yeah. So when it's remapped and stuff, we'll be putting that in, and we'll probably do another video on that as well. So let's see what's going in and how to do it.
Basically, I'm taking the oil filler cap off and the dipstick out, just so the oil drains faster.
So now we're going to send it up on the ramp. This is the good thing about DK tuning. Obviously, we've got some ramps in here. You can't, obviously you haven't got ramps at home, you can do it on the jacks. It's just as easy, but it's just easier for us to do it in here as we have the space and the ramps. So what he's going to be doing is going to take the bottom sump plug out of the car to let the oil drain out, and then we'll put that back in, put the new oil filter back in, and then put the new oil in as well, and then we'll go on to the spark plugs. If we take a look underneath the ramp, we have the sump plug right here. It's very, very hot, so we're just going to leave the car to cool down. And also the new, well, the old oil filter is there, genuine Subaru. Unfortunately, we haven't got a genuine Subaru to go back in. It's just the normal Bosch one. You pass me that. Thank you. This Bosch one, and then if we have a look over here, we have the new oil, GTX Ultra Clean 1040. Make sure you put 1040 in. So wasn't it 530 before?
It was 530 recommended by dealership, but because of what I use my car for, which is pretty much thrashing it,
yeah,
it's recommended to put 1040 in, slightly thicker oil.
Slightly thicker, yeah.
Shouldn't thin out as much easy.
Yeah.
Should be alright. So
if you're going to be ragging the absolute crap out of your car, guys, then 1040 is probably a little bit better, a little bit thicker, so it's not going to run out as much. And Subarus use quite a bit of oil as well. They are well known for that. So
yeah. You also want fully synthetic. You don't want semi. It's got to be fully synthetic. It's got to be.
How come?
Not sure. It's just the engine.
He doesn't know. He's a mechanic and he don't know me.
No, all I know is it's got to be fully synthetic.
All I know is that in these lighting conditions, I look white as. Obviously, then you've got to put in the car the chocolate milk.
No, that's mine. That's for me.
And the cheese string in the top of the spark plug. No, so these are the new spark plugs that are going into them. NGK Iridium premium ones, just to give better spark and stuff. It's recommended that when you do a full service, you do the spark plugs as well. And if we have a look underneath the car again, probably can't see it very well, but we have a brand spankers exhaust on this. So have you had a decat delete? You have.
It's had a decat. No, sorry, it's had a decat delete, but it has got a sports cat. And
okay, so it is still legal.
Yeah, it's got a sports cat and it's got a silencer, but these will be removed.
Okay, so you're going to remove them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he pushes for more power, that's recommended that you get rid of like pretty much everything. And yeah, except from the jack can at the back, because that's just like, you know,
Subaru
life. Subaru life. Yeah. So we're going to let it cool down, and then we're going to start with the drainage. So Jake's now going to undo the sump bolt with the 17mm spanner, or ratchet. Ratchet spanner.
Ratchet.
And then we're going to get, well, he's going to hope to try and get the sump plug before it drops in the oil bucket below.
I'm not burning myself because it's hot.
Oh yeah, it's still very, very hot. So hopefully he won't burn himself.
Please, please. Please.
To grab it so quick. Oh shit!
Look how thin
He
that
did it
is
pretty
there.
well. Yeah, it is very thin.
No metal bits on the Sun plug, always a good sign, even though they're not magnetic anyway, on this particular one. That is thin.
It's always a good sign
Like
there.
water.
It is like water. Jesus.
And it's hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. So as soon as this is drained out, then we will put the new oil filter in, and then put the sump plug back in, and then the new oil. So just before we put the sump plug back on, make sure that you have a new crush washer to go back in, because if they fail, then obviously it'll start leaking out of the sump plug, and you really don't want that. So just going to put the new sump plug back in, well, the new washer on the sump plug anyway, and then give that a good old tighten up, and then we're going to do the new oil filter. So these should be hand tight, but Jake's had to get the specialised equipment to get this one off because it was quite tight. So now we're going to pull it off, and make sure you do grab the bucket as well, because there will be excess oil in this one.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's hot.
Is it very hot?
Yes, it's hot.
Right, so just before you actually put the new filter in, you must create like an old oily layer, which is what Jake's doing. He's caressing it like it's...
Rubbing it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
So now he's going to put it in and do it up basically hand tight, so as pretty much as hard as you can do it with your hand. You don't really want to do it up too tight because it might break the seal inside. When you do tighten it up, guys, just make sure that there's no oil coming out the top and the seal hasn't been pushed out by it being too tight. We don't want that happening really, because obviously then it'll start leaking oil. So let's get the Subaru back on the ground and get some new oil in her. We have the funnel to go into the car, as you can see down there. And Jake is now removing the airbox thing for some reason.
So I can not only get to the spark plugs, but also check my power steering fluid, as it's just there and it does whine a bit.
So yeah, the car is whining a little bit for the power steering, so he's just going to check that there is sufficient sufficient fluid in there.
It's not actually got a can of castor oils. Only the finest.
Only the finest will be going into this Subaru.
Oh, look at that. That lush stuff. Also,
Does look very nice and golden.
yeah. It's better to turn the oil to the side. It's not trap any air. So we should take 4.5 litres. This is 4 litres, so we'll put all this in and check the dipstick.
Make sure that when you're putting the oil in, guys, that you do what Jake is doing. Just check that you're not putting too much in. What did you say this should take?
4.5 litres.
4.5. So the 4 litres that he's putting in now, he'll put in, then he'll leave it to settle, and then he'll put the extra 0.5 in. Just make sure that you're not putting too much in, because that can be just as bad as putting too little in. So just explain what we have to do to get the spark plugs in, Jake.
Well, we have to remove the airbox on this side to gain access to this bank, and then we have to remove the battery on this side to get to this bank, and potentially unbolt the air pump just to raise it, just for clearance. Other than that, I think that's about it.
Okay, so we'll remove that and then we'll get back to you. As you can see down here, these two blocks just in front of my finger is where the spark plugs are on this bank, and then they'll be underneath the battery on that bank. When we pull them out, we'll show you, but I haven't got them the most battery life and stuff, so I'm trying to get it done quick and show you exactly what you need to be looking at. So to get both of these out, they are holding by 1 bolt each, and they are a 12mm. So make sure you've got a 12mm ratchet to hand, and then you can pull them out. As Jake is about to find out, it's a pain in the arse to get these spark plugs out because of the space between the engine. So it's just a case of building the ratchet up, get the initial socket in, and then building it up from there to get the ratchet in, just like so. So we're going to do it individually so that we don't lose any of them, and we know exactly which one's gone in and such. It's just a little bit easier that way, so I recommend doing it a similar way yourselves. Just going to show you real quick for walk around Jake. This is the first spark plug that's come out of the engine, still rather warm. As you can see, it's not wet and stuff, which is what we're looking for. We don't want it too wet because then it'd be running too rich. Not in too bad shape, but it's always good to have some new ones. So also use this opportunity, like Jake has just done, to check the cool packs, just to make sure that they are in good condition, because they are a bit of a pain in the arse to change. And while they're out, it's probably a good idea that you check that they're okay. We're going to do the first two, and then we'll move on to the next bank, and then we'll show you them all when we're finished. Onto this bank. He has already done the one spark plug, and to get to the other one, it is a lot easier to remove this pump here. It is a ball ache, but it is a lot easier removing this so that you can get behind, because the spark plug is basically down behind this pump here. So we're going to get that out, and then that is basically it. And then we put the battery back in, and that is it. So we hope that you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was quite informative on how to change the oil, the spark plugs and the oil filter in your WRX Impreza. So if you like the video, then please do like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next mod is going to be coilovers, and then we're going to have some other mods. So make sure that you're subscribed and hit that bell notification underneath, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Beeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bat. Snapping with a phone and dab.